Hello everyone. I will continue the topic types of contract from my previous video. In this video, I will explain the different types of contract classified on the basis of formation and on the basis of performance. On the basis of formation, the different types of contracts are express contract, implied contract, and quasi-contract. Let me explain to you these contracts one by one. Express contract. An express contract is a contract which is made in words, spoken or written. Example, Rita said to Geeta, "Will you purchase my bicycle for rupees 1500? Geeta said, "Yes, I will." This is an express contract by the words of mouth. Let me give you another example. Manu wrote a letter to Tanu offering to sell his laptop for rupees 20,000. And in reply, Tanu wrote that she accepted the offer. It is an express contract in writing. Now we move on to the next type, that is implied contract. Implied contract is a contract which is not made in words, spoken or written. An implied contract comes into existence through the act or conduct of the parties. Example, Sonam stopped a bus by waving her hand, got into it and took a seat. In this case, there is an implied contract that she will pay the fare of the bus even though she made no express promise to do so. The act of boarding a bus shows that Sonam enters into a contract. Let me give you another example to explain my point. Atul went to a restaurant and ordered lunch. In this case also, Atul will pay the bill even though he made no express promise to do so. The act of ordering food shows that Atul enters into a contract. Let us now move on to the third type, that is quasi-contract. Quasi-contract is a contract which is not based upon the offer and acceptance rule. There is no real contract exists between the parties. In real sense, it is an obligation imposed by law in the absence of any agreement. Quasi-contract is based upon the principle of equity. The principle of equity is that no one should grow rich out of another person's cost. Example, Karan and Arjun jointly owed rupees 50,000 to Nakul. Karan alone paid the amount to Nakul. Arjun was unaware of the fact, so he also paid rupees 50,000 to Nakul. In this case, there is a legal obligation upon Nakul to repay the amount to Arjun. Quasi-contract says that unjust enrichment of one person at the cost of another is not allowed. Now we move on to the third category of contracts based on performance. On the basis of performance, the different types of contracts are executed contract, executory contract, unilateral contract, and bilateral contract. Let me explain the first one, that is executed contract. We know that when two parties enter into a valid contract, some legal rights and some legal obligations are created. When both the parties have completely performed their respective obligations under the contract is said to be executed. Example, Mohan contracted to deliver 100 bags of rice to Shyam for rupees 1500 per bag of a particular quality. Shyam also agreed to pay the price on the same day. Mohan delivered the bags of rice to Shyam and Shyam paid the full price to Mohan. Both the parties have completely performed their respective obligations. So, this is an executed contract. Next point, executory contract. When one or both the parties to the contract have still to perform their obligations in the future, the contract is said to be executory. It means that the performance of both the parties or one of the parties is still outstanding. Example, on 25th August 2020, Radha agreed to sell her car to Deepa for rupees 2 lakhs. The ownership of the car will be transferred to Deepa on 15th October 2020 when the car is got registered in Deepa's name. It is an executory contract because the ownership of the car is yet to be transferred to Deepa. On 15th October 2020, the contract will become executed contract when the car is registered in the name of Deepa. Next, unilateral contract. Uni means one. So, unilateral contract is a one-sided contract in which only one party has to perform his promise. In such type of contract, only one party has to perform his obligation because the other party has already performed his obligation. Example, Rajesh has lost his 6-year daughter. He announces a reward of rupees 80,000 through an advertisement in a newspaper to the person who will bring his daughter safely to home. Manish, who comes across the advertisement, finds the girl and brings her before Rajesh. As soon as Manish does his act, the contract comes into existence. Now, Rajesh is liable to perform his promise. Next, bilateral contract. Bi means two. So, bilateral contract is a two-sided contract in which both the parties have to perform their respective obligations. The obligation is outstanding on the part of both the parties. Example, Krishna promised to paint a picture for Karan, and Karan promised to pay him rupees 10,000 on the delivery of the painting. So, it is a bilateral contract. Both the parties have exchanged promises. The obligation is outstanding at the time of the formation of the contract. So, these are the different types of contracts classified on the basis of enforceability, on the basis of formation, and on the basis of performance. That's all for today. Thank you very much for watching and listening.